Hi, folks. Doc Hanley here. I'm going to talk today about the virtues and joys of minimalism. I've talked a lot about how to attain your own personal paradise, and I've been around the sun several times on this earth, so I've learned a few things along the way. Uh, Minimalism is essentially the key to paradise, and wealth is a great thing, but the problem with wealth is that it will not bring happiness. Any wealth you have above your needs will not bring you happiness, not lasting happiness anyway. And so the real value of wealth is security. And if you're a working person in the Western world, try to secure your future, to gain enough wealth to secure your future, so that when you can no longer work, that you can live comfortably and still do the things that you like to do and live where you want to live. Uh, that that's easier to do in some cases than others, but even people on modest incomes can achieve wealth. I read a statistic a few years ago that amazed me. It said of all the groups of people, of professions in the United States, that the most millionaires were retired teachers. Now, we all know that teachers are not overpaid and usually severely underpaid, but teachers are minimalists, not always by choice, but by necessity. And they know that one day that even their meager income will come to a close, and they have to have something to rely on after that. So teachers are by nature investors and savers. They look to the future, and they begin at an early age. And it's there are two reasons that the most millionaires by group in the United States are teachers. Is number one, because there are a lot of retired teachers. It's a big group of people. But number two, because they are minimalist and they have prepared for the future. And we find sometimes people in high-paying professions that aren't really prepared for the future. They like to live to the fullest extent of their ability. And I've always said we need to live a few notches below our means. And you establish a point of equilibrium in your life, a lifestyle that is suitable for you. And a lot of people, when they get a windfall or accumulate some wealth, they want to knock it up a few notches and get accustomed to a different level of living. And I'm not the only person that feels this way. I want to read you some quotes from Steve Jobs. Of course, he was the co-founder of Apple Incorporated, and Steve died young. He spent his entire life climbing the ladder, gaining wealth and power, and then all of a sudden he realized that death was imminent. And he got an entirely different viewpoint on life at that point. Let me read you some of the things Steve said toward the end of his life. I reached the pinnacle of success in the business world. In others' eyes, my life is an epitome of success. However, aside from work, I have little joy. In the end, wealth is only a fact of life that I am accustomed to. At this moment, lying on the sick bed and recalling my whole life, I realize that all the recognition and wealth that I took so much pride in have paled and become meaningless in the face of impending death. Steve realized that no matter how wealthy you are, there's always a human nature to want more. And if you can resist that and be content with what you have and living somewhat below your means, then you can be a true minimalist at whatever level, and you'll have financial security, which is the only real value of wealth. Well, actually, two things. One, you can help other people, and two, you can have financial security for yourself. Those are the only two real values of wealth. Of course, you can pass it along to your heirs. That's another advantage. But insofar as making you happy, wealth doesn't do it. Let me give you some more quotes from Steve Jobs. As we grow older and hence wiser, we slowly realize that wearing a $300 or $30 watch, they both tell the same time. Whether we carry a $300 or a $30 wallet or handbag, the amount of money inside is the same. Whether we drive a $150,000 car or a $30,000 car, the road and distance is the same and we get to the same destination. Whether we drink a bottle of $300 or $10 wine, the hangover is the same. You will realize your true inner happiness does not come from the material things of this world. Of course, Steve realized this too late in his own life. Whether you fly first or economy class, if the plane goes down, you go down with it. Doesn't matter where you're seated on the plane. Doesn't matter what your station is in life. If you don't have security, you don't have anything. It doesn't matter how many possessions you have, and I've spoken before of the tendency for possessions to take possession of you. You know, if you got too many things, too many motorcycles, too many ski boats, too many vacation homes, those are just things to worry about. You know, they're great up front, but when you get accustomed to them, that's your equilibrium level of living, and it doesn't give you great satisfaction anymore. You know, I worked in education all my life virtually, and I realized that, one day I would have to retire. So in my 30s, I began investing, and I made a lot of mistakes. I mean, you know, there are a lot of things to learn about investing, and I finally learned my lessons and got better at it as I went along. Of course, I could have hired a financial advisor, but, financial advisors, a lot of them are just really incompetent, and a lot of them are just charlatans trying to separate you from your money. Now, there are some good ones, but I didn't want to take the chance of not getting a good one. I wanted to learn the ropes myself of investing, and it's worked out fine for me. Now, you'll have to take your own course, but I do advise for you to invest as young as you can, and you don't have to invest a lot. Just do it regularly, and over time it'll grow. And it's like a snowball going downhill. The longer you go, the bigger the ball gets. So it's really something you need to do. Now, if you're a new investor, I would recommend that you stick with mutual funds or exchange traded funds. The difference is that mutual funds are professionally managed. They continually buy and sell to try to maximize return, but they have a higher maintenance fee than exchange traded funds. Exchange traded funds are simply like buy and hold. They'll buy funds in a sector and hold them, and you pay a very small maintenance fee for it. And I love sector funds. I am really bullish on technology funds. Technology, like all sector funds, goes up and down, but the future is technology. Can you imagine a future where technology companies are not doing well? I can't. And that's why I invest in technology companies and technology sector funds. You can invest wherever you want to, and you need to do your own analysis. Don't take my word for it. But I'm just telling you from my personal experience what's worked for me. The main thing about investing is don't invest money that you have to survive. I've seen so many people put every penny they can in the stock market. The stocks go down 20, 30, 40%. They sell out, they lose 20, 30, 40% of their money. You need to weather the ups and downs. The stock market's going to go up, it's going to go down. You need to be able to weather these. Don't panic. it'll eventually go back up if it goes down. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes years, most of the time it takes months. But the trajectory of the stock market is up. Over a long period of time, it's always going up. It'll be up and down along the way, but it's going up. And so only put money that you don't have to survive. Don't overinvest. Uh, Minimalism. Like I said, we need to live on less than we can afford, and we need to keep a safety net for emergencies. You never know when you're going to get sick. If you're working, if you're going to have to be away from work for several months, you need an emergency fund, and you need to really build this emergency fund before you start investing, because it's really more important, more immediate concern. And years ago I discovered Dave Ramsey, but the thing is, I don't follow Dave's advice, because I watched Dave a few times and I figured out what he's selling is what I've been doing all my life. Dave and I figured out the same things. The difference is that Dave started promoting it and got rich promoting it, and I just sat back and used the techniques for myself. But Dave Ramsey is a great financial advisor for free. So if you want some good advice, listen to Dave Ramsey. But minimalists are happy people, and some of the happiest people I've seen in my life are people that don't know where their next meal is coming from. And it doesn't stand to reason, but it's true. And some of the saddest people I've seen in my life are multimillionaires. It's hard to explain, but when you get so much and you start dwelling on your assets, every waking moment you're thinking about what you have and how you can get more and how you can keep what you've got, and it'll eat away at your life, and you start overlooking the important things in life. Your family, your recreation, your personal development, finding your own paradise. You lose sight of all this, and you get enthralled, you get immersed in this quest for more and more and more. And when you do that, you're going to be one of the saddest people on the face of the earth, and I've seen many of them. Now, I don't advocate not knowing where the next meal is coming from, because I've seen a lot of poverty in my life. These people are poor, but they're happy, but they suffer a lot. The best plan is to have enough financial assets to not suffer, to be able to live where you want to live and do what you want to live, and don't worry about accumulating a lot more than you need to do whatever you plan to do. Got a few notes here. Let me turn the page. So I've got some closing comments here I want to make, and I hope you'll subscribe to this channel and like it. I'm going to keep going if I get enough subscriptions and enough likes and enough views. I enjoy doing it, but I've got some plans for other channels if this one doesn't work out. So I'm hoping this one will, because I really, really and truly am motivated to make this a success. Here's my closing comment. I'm going to read it from my notes so I won't misquote myself. If you live frugally and invest wisely, when it is time to retire, you won't be struggling trying to survive on a government pension. You'll have plenty of money to travel, to help other people, to support your family, to do whatever you want to do. You won't be tempted to keep up with the Joneses, but you will probably feel sorry for the Joneses as they struggle in the rat race to impress their neighbors. And when you get to the end of the line, you can leave this world in peace, knowing that you've taken the road less traveled and have been blessed because of it. This is Doc Hanley saying so long, and God bless you.